check that out. It's my latest little contraption that I came up with yesterday while I was out on the water. I'll tell you a little story about it. I was wanting to throw a small swim bait around the grass, and I had some hooks, but I wanted a little spinner on there, and I thought I had some smaller flashy swimmers. This is the flashy swimmer, if you don't know about that. It's just it's a weedless hook with a little spinner on there, and it's got a weighted head. It's a pretty good little rig right here. It's got a little wire dropper right there, a little willow leaf on there. But all I had was a size 5, and it was too big for my swim baits. So I was kind of digging around in my box, and I was thinking, how can I come up with a weedless rig and put a flasher, put a little spinner on there or something. So this is what I came up with. I'm gonna break this down for you. I had some of these finesse blades laying in my tackle box, and all they are is it's just a small willow leaf, and it's got a little screw in there, and you can screw them into plastic baits. You know, you can put them on the back of a Cinco to give your Cinco some flash, or another thing you can do is take this big swim bait and you can just screw it into the bottom here at an angle. It's pretty straightforward. And you got a little bit of flash hanging out here. But if you're going to do a Texas rig, you can't do that because, you know, your weight is hanging out the bottom. So if you were to screw that swivel or screw that screw lock in there, the hook's going to be in the way. So I was trying to come up with a contraption. Like I said, all I had was size 5 flashy swimmers. Here's my components. Just a frog hook or a toad hook with this little weight on there. It's probably like an 1/8 ounce weight on there. I had a little rage swimmer. Then I had my willow leaf with the screw lock on it. And I'm trying to make it into this, the flashy swimmer. Here's what I came up with. I just removed the little screw lock from this swivel, popped it off, so it essentially looked like that, just the swivel and the blade. And I took my hook and I threaded that on there. Okay, now the problem you're going to have with this setup is once you get your swim bait on there and you start reeling it in, this blade is going to fly all the way up. It's going to actually bump up against your swim bait. I'll show you what I mean here. So you're going to have your swim bait on here like this. This blade is going to lift and it's going to just be interfering with your tail. So it's not going to work. It's going to mess up your tail action and the blade's not going to spin. So what you got to do is you got to keep it from sliding back. It needs to be somewhat fixed. So what I decided to do is I've got these big bobber stops, and I took one of the bobber stops off and I just threaded it onto the hook. You know, they've already got a little hole in them. So I just found that little hole. This was kind of hard to do, but I didn't want to poke myself either. See, it's coming through, it's working. It's about to go through that barb. There you go, I've got it on the hook, and it's pretty stout. I mean, it stays on the hook really well, it doesn't slide. So then I'm just gonna slide this bobber stop down into the position that I want that blade to fall back to. So somewhere right in there. Now what's going to happen is when you're rolling that swim bait in, this blade's going to come back and it's going to catch on that bobber stop, and it cannot go up any further and interfere with your swim bait. So that was looking good. And then of course this has got a little screw on the front, so you're just going to screw your swim bait in here. And get that to to where you need it at. You want your boot tail to be facing down, and you're just going to run your hook through here. There's a little slit in there, you come up through that slit. There you go, it's rigged up. So that is essentially a homemade flashy swimmer. This blade is going to be restricted by the bobber stop. It's not going to be able to interfere with the boot tail or the body, and it's going to spin freely behind the swim bait. Now I threw this around and it works really good. I actually like the action of this better than I do the flashy swimmer. So give that a try if you don't have any flashy swimmers. You can do this with pretty much any hook, as long as you can get this little spinner on there and it slides freely. Put your bobber stop on there, it's going to stop it from interfering with the swim bait, and it swims really good. I caught some fish on it. There you go, just a neat little tip I came up with out on the water. I was thinking about it, I thought I'd share it with you guys. Let me know if you try it and it works, what you think about it. It's pretty simple to set up, and the action is really nice. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.